There's something we don't talk about enough, the raw, unpolished truth that pain changes us. It's not polite dinner conversation. It makes people uncomfortable, but here's the deal. Pain is inevitable. Suffering, that's optional. We all carry wounds, some visible, some buried deep. Maybe it's heartbreak, maybe it's loss, maybe it's the weight of feeling like you're never enough. Whatever it is, I want to invite you to look at that pain differently today. Not as a burden, not as something to hide, but as a doorway to something bigger. You see, the world teaches us to armor up, to push pain down, to numb it with work, with distractions, with whatever makes it quiet. But when we do that, we don't get rid of it, we just bury it alive. And buried pain doesn't disappear. It just finds new ways to control us. So what if, instead of running from it, we leaned in? What if we chose to sit with the discomfort, to ask, what is this pain trying to teach me? Because pain, as brutal as it is, has a way of carving us into the people we're meant to be. Think about the strongest, most inspiring people you know. I guarantee they didn't get there without struggle. Their strength didn't come from avoiding hardship. It came from walking through it. It came from refusing to let their wounds define them. Your story, your pain, isn't something to be ashamed of. It's the birthplace of resilience, of empathy, of courage. It's the thing that connects you to others in ways that success and ease never could. And if you let it, your pain can be your power. It can be the fuel that drives you, the wisdom that shapes you, the fire that forges something extraordinary out of the hardest moments of your life. So today, I want you to take a deep breath and make a decision. Will you let your pain hold you back, or will you let it push you towards something greater? The choice is yours, and I hope you choose greatness. Pain has a way of showing up uninvited. It doesn't knock on the door politely. It crashes in, turns your world upside down, and leaves you questioning everything. And in those moments when life feels heavy and unfair, it's easy to believe that pain is something designed to break us. But what if it's not? What if pain isn't a punishment but a teacher? What if instead of seeing it as a dead end, we saw it as a turning point? The truth is, pain is not here to destroy you. It's here to transform you. It's a catalyst, not a curse. Think about it. Some of the greatest moments of personal growth come not from comfort, but from discomfort. Strength isn't built in ease. It's built in resistance. Wisdom doesn't come from knowing all the answers. It comes from wrestling with hard questions. And resilience, that doesn't grow in perfect conditions. It's forged in fire. When we experience pain, whether it's loss, failure, heartbreak, or disappointment, we have two choices. We can either let it define us, trapping us in bitterness and fear, or we can let it refine us, shaping us into stronger, more courageous versions of ourselves. History is filled with people who turned their pain into something powerful. Think of great leaders, artists, and change makers. More often than not, their greatness didn't come from an easy road. It came from struggle. It came from walking through fire and coming out on the other side, not unscathed, but transformed. The challenge is, most of us resist pain. We fight it, suppress it, or try to numb it. We tell ourselves, if I can just get past this, I'll be okay. But the truth is, the pain itself holds something valuable. It holds growth. It holds wisdom. It holds the very things we need to move forward. Imagine a seed underground. It's buried in darkness, under pressure, seemingly alone. But that darkness isn't its end, it's its beginning. That pressure isn't meant to crush it, it's meant to crack it open so it can grow. The same is true for us. Your pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something new. It is the force that pushes you out of your comfort zone, that challenges you to see yourself differently, that forces you to dig deep and find the strength you didn't even know you had. So the next time pain comes knocking, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because pain is not a curse. It is a catalyst for something greater. And if you let it, it will take you places you never imagined you could go. We live in a world that teaches us to wear masks. From an early age, we're told to toughen up, to hold it together, to be strong. Strength in this definition means having it all figured out, showing no weakness, and never letting people see us struggle. But what if we've been getting strength all wrong? What if real strength isn't about perfection, but about honesty? What if the strongest thing you can do is to stand in your truth, unguarded and unarmored? Vulnerability is often misunderstood. People think of it as weakness, as exposure, as something to be avoided at all costs. But the reality is, vulnerability is one of the most powerful things a person can embrace. It is the birthplace of connection, courage, and growth. Think about it. Every meaningful relationship in your life is built on vulnerability. Love requires vulnerability. Trust requires vulnerability. Creativity, innovation, leadership. None of these things exist without a willingness to take risks and be seen for who we truly are. Yet we resist it. We resist vulnerability because it's uncomfortable. It's terrifying to admit we don't have all the answers, to open ourselves up to rejection, to share the parts of our story that feel messy and unfinished. But here's the thing. The moment we allow ourselves to be truly seen, we invite others to do the same, and that is where real strength lies. Imagine standing in a room full of people, each one trying to look like they have their life perfectly together. Smiles plastered on, success stories rehearsed, struggles hidden. But then one person steps forward and says, I don't have it all figured out. I'm struggling. I'm afraid. What happens? Instead of pushing them away, the room leans in. Because deep down, we all know what it feels like to be unsure, to be scared, to be human. And when someone is brave enough to be vulnerable, it gives everyone else permission to do the same. That is strength. Strength is not pretending. It's not masking your emotions or building walls so high that no one can reach you. Strength is being open even when it's uncomfortable. Strength is saying, this is who I am, this is what I've been through, and I'm still standing. It's easy to hide behind perfection. It's easy to pretend we're fine, to numb the pain, to act like we have it all together. But that's not strength. That's fear in disguise. True strength is walking into a room, heart exposed, and saying, this is me. True strength is asking for help when you need it. It's admitting when you're wrong. It's choosing to love and trust even when you've been hurt before. And the irony, the more we embrace our vulnerability, the stronger we become. Because the moment we stop running from our fears, from our pain, from the things that make us human, we take back our power. So let's rewrite the definition of strength. Let's stop pretending that being unbreakable is the goal. Because the truth is, we were never meant to be unbreakable. We were meant to be real. We were meant to grow. We were meant to connect. And none of that happens without vulnerability. There comes a moment in everyone's life when they have to decide, am I going to run from my story or am I going to own it? Owning your story is one of the most powerful things you can do, but it's also one of the hardest. Because let's be honest, there are parts of our story we'd rather erase. There are chapters filled with mistakes, heartbreak, loss, and failure. There are pages we've written that we wish we could rewrite. But here's the truth. Your story is yours, and it is worth owning, every single part of it. We live in a world that tells us to curate our lives, to present only the best parts, to filter out the messy, the complicated, the painful. But that's not real. And when we hide from our story, we don't just hide from the pain, we hide from the lessons, from the growth, from the transformation that could come if we had the courage to embrace it. So what does it mean to own your story? One, owning your story means no more running it. Means no more pretending, no more avoiding, no more acting like the past didn't happen, because the truth is, no matter how much we try to run from our story, it always finds us. And the more we run, the more power it holds over us. But when we stop and turn to face it, when we acknowledge where we've been, what we've survived, and how it has shaped us, that's when we take our power back. Two, your story does not define you. How you own it does too. Often people believe that because they've been through something painful, they are broken. That because they made mistakes, they are unworthy. That because their story is messy, they are unlovable. But your past is not your identity. It is not a label that you have to carry forever. You are not your worst mistake. You are not your trauma. You are not the things that happened to you. You are who you choose to become despite them. Owning your story doesn't mean glorifying the pain. It means refusing to let it define you in a way that holds you back. It means saying, yes, this happened to me, but I get to decide what happens next. Think about the most inspiring people in the world, the ones who truly move us, who change lives, who leave a lasting impact. They are never the ones who had an easy, perfect life. They are the ones who went through the fire, who faced darkness, and who chose to rise anyway. Your story, especially the hard parts, is where your strength comes from. The pain, the struggles, the challenges you faced, those are the very things that have given you wisdom, resilience, and depth. When you own your story, you stop seeing your past as something to be ashamed of and start seeing it as the foundation of your strength. 4, your story has the power to help others. When you own your story, you don't just free yourself, you give others permission to do the same. We all crave connection. We all want to know that we're not alone. And when you have the courage to stand in your truth and say, this is where I've been, this is what I've learned, and I am still standing, you become a light for someone else who is struggling. The parts of your story that you think are the most unlovable, the most shameful, the most painful, those are the very parts that can inspire someone else to keep going. 5, you are the author of what happens next. At the end of the day, your story is yours. No one else gets to write it. No one else gets to tell you how it ends. You may not have chosen the beginning. You may not have chosen some of the painful chapters, but you get to choose what comes next. You get to decide whether your story is one of defeat or one of resilience. You get to decide whether you stay stuck in the past or whether you use it as a stepping stone to something greater. So today I want to challenge you, own your story, own every mistake, every scar, every triumph, every lesson. Don't let shame or fear hold you back from embracing the fullness of who you are. Because your story is not something to be hidden. It is something to be claimed, to be honored, and to be used for something greater. And when you own it, truly own it, there is nothing more powerful. When we think of resilience, we often picture grand acts of strength, people overcoming incredible odds, standing victorious after major battles, rising from the ashes of devastation. And while those moments are powerful, they aren't where resilience is actually built. Resilience isn't something that magically appears in a crisis. It's something that's forged in the quiet, ordinary, everyday moments. the ones that no one sees, the ones that don't make headlines. We often look at strong people and assume they were just born that way, as if resilience is some rare quality that only a select few possess. But that's not true. Resilience is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows through repetition, through practice, through small, seemingly insignificant choices we make every single day. $1. Resilience starts in the small choices. Every time you get out of bed when you don't feel like it, you are building resilience. Every time you show up for yourself despite doubt and fear, you are building resilience. Every time you choose to keep going, even when you don't have all the answers, you are building resilience. These moments might feel small, but they add up. They create a foundation of inner strength, a quiet confidence that tells you, I have been here before, I have faced hard things before, and I can do it again. Think about how a tree grows. It doesn't suddenly become strong overnight. Its roots deepen slowly, stretching further into the soil, securing it against storms. Every day, little by little, it becomes stronger. So when the winds come, it doesn't break. You are that tree. The daily decisions you make, how you handle setbacks, how you show up when things are tough, how you keep pushing forward even when no one is watching, those are the roots of your resilience. 2. The power of getting back up. We tend to think that resilience means never falling, never failing, never breaking. But real resilience is not about avoiding struggle. It's about how you rise from it. Falling is inevitable. Life will knock you down. There will be disappointments, failures, heartbreaks, unexpected detours. But the moment you decide to get back up, even if it's messy, even if it's slow, you are proving to yourself that you are stronger than you think. And here's the beautiful part. The more you rise, it doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes resilience looks like taking one small step when you feel like giving up. Sometimes it looks like simply making it through the day, and that is enough. 3, resilience is built in the hard, boring, and uncertain times. We love to talk about resilience when people reach the other side of struggle, when they've already won, when they've already overcome. But resilience isn't just found in the victory. It's built in the process. It's built in the moments when you feel stuck but refuse to quit. It's built in the nights you cry yourself to sleep but wake up and try again. It's built in the uncertainty, in the waiting, in the days that feel heavy and endless. It's easy to be strong when life is going well. The real test is how you respond when life isn't easy. 4, resilience is a choice, one small moment at a time. Here's the truth. No one is born with resilience. It is built. And it's built in the small, everyday choices you make. Do you let a setback define you? Or do you choose to learn from it? Do you let fear stop you? Or do you take action despite it? Do you give up? Or do you take one more step, even if it's a tiny one? Those choices shape who you become. Those choices build resilience, not all at once, but slowly, steadily, in the moments that feel small but matter the most. So today, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling stuck, if you're questioning whether you're strong enough, remember this: resilience is not about being unbreakable. It's about being willing to bend, to adapt, to keep going one moment at a time. And if you keep making those small choices, one day you'll look back and realize you were strong all along. Pain has a way of making us feel alone. When we go through hardship, whether it's heartbreak, failure, loss, or self-doubt, it's easy to believe that no one else could possibly understand what we're feeling, that we are isolated in our suffering, left to navigate the darkness by ourselves. But here's the truth: you are not alone, and your struggles are not meaningless. Every hardship you've endured, every lesson you've learned through pain, every moment where you thought you wouldn't make it but did, has the potential to help someone else. Because the very thing you are struggling with today is something someone else will struggle with tomorrow. And your story, your resilience, your journey through the fire can be the light that helps them find their way. Pain connects use more than perfection. Ever could we live in a world that loves to celebrate success? We admire people when they've made it, when they've reached the top, when they seem to have everything figured out. But the truth is, the parts of people's stories that inspire us the most are not their moments of ease and perfection. It's the moments when they struggled and kept going. Think about the most powerful stories you've ever heard. Were they about people who had an easy road? Or were they about people who faced difficulty, fought through it, and came out stronger on the other side? We don't connect through perfection. We connect through honesty. We connect through struggle. Your struggles are not something to be ashamed of. They are something that makes you human. And when you share those struggles, when you open up about the things you've been through, you give others permission to do the same. You remind them that they are not alone. And sometimes knowing that we are not alone is enough to give us the strength to keep going. 2, someone out there needs to hear your story. It's easy to think, who am I to inspire anyone? I'm still figuring things out myself, but that's exactly why your story matters. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be real. Because right now there is someone out there who is feeling the same pain you once felt. Someone who is standing where you once stood, wondering if they will ever make it through. And while they may not be able to see the light at the end of their tunnel, you can. Because you've been there, you know what it feels like to be in that place, and you also know that it gets better. That healing is possible. That life does go on. And by sharing your story, by being open about your struggles, your doubts, and how you found your way through, you become a beacon of hope for someone who is searching for one. 3, your hardships can become someone else's roadmap. Life doesn't come with a manual. We're all just figuring it out as we go. And often the best wisdom we receive doesn't come from books or lectures. It comes from the experiences of others who have walked the road before us. Think about how many times you felt lost in life and turned to someone else's story for guidance. Maybe it was a friend who went through a similar struggle. Maybe it was a book, a podcast, or even a stranger's words that helped you realize you weren't alone. Now, imagine that your story could do the same for someone else. The lessons you've learned, the mistakes you've made, the wisdom you've gained, these things are valuable. They are not just for you, they are meant to be shared. When you are open about your struggles, you provide others with a roadmap. You show them that while the journey may be hard, it is possible to survive, to heal, and to thrive. 4, turning your pain into purpose. Some of the most meaningful work in the world has come from people who turned their struggles into something that helped others. The person who battled depression and now speaks about mental health. The survivor of loss who now helps others through grief. The person who once felt unworthy but now teaches self-love. Their struggles didn't disappear, but they used them. They took their pain and turned it into something powerful. And you can do the same. Maybe your pain has given you a deeper sense of empathy. Maybe it has made you more compassionate, more understanding, more aware of what others might be going through. Maybe it has equipped you with wisdom that someone else desperately needs. Whatever it is, know this: your pain does not have to be wasted. It can be used, it can be transformed, it can become the very thing that helps someone else find their way. 5, the ripple effect of courage. When you choose to be vulnerable, when you choose to share your struggles instead of hiding them, you create a ripple effect. Because courage is contagious. When someone hears your story and sees that you survived, they start to believe that maybe they can survive too. When someone watches you own your truth, they start to believe that maybe they can own theirs too. And before you know it, your willingness to be open, to be honest, to be real, it doesn't just change your life. It changes the lives of others. 6, you are stronger than you think, and so is someone else. Because of you, there will be moments in life when you wonder if your struggles were worth it. If the pain, the heartache, the challenges you faced had any meaning at all. But then one day someone will hear your story. Someone will see how you kept going, and they will find the courage to keep going too. And in that moment, you will realize your struggle was never just about you. It was always about something bigger. It was always about lighting the way for someone else. So own your story, speak your truth, share your journey, because someone out there needs your light. For so long, we've been sold a lie that greatness belongs to the flawless, that success is reserved for the people who never make mistakes, who never stumble, who get everything right the first time. But that's not true. It's never been true. Greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about being willing to fail, to fall, to break, and still have the courage to get back up and try again. Perfection is an illusion, and chasing it only leads to fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of not measuring up. And when we live in fear, we stop taking risks. We stop putting ourselves out there. We shrink instead of expand. But the people who change the world, the people who leave a mark, are not the ones who played it safe. They are the ones who dare to be imperfect. One, perfection is the enemy of growth. If you're waiting until you're perfect to start, you'll be waiting forever. If you're waiting until you have all the answers, until you have it all figured out, until you are certain you won't fail, you will never take the first step. Greatness doesn't come from perfection. It comes from movement, from learning as you go, from being willing to make mistakes and adjust along the way. Think about the greatest innovators, leaders, and creators in history. Do you think they got everything right the first time? Do you think they never made a mistake? No, they failed. They could a lot, but they kept going. They let their failures teach them. They let their mistakes shape them. And because of that, they grew into something greater than they ever could have been if they had been obsessed with getting it right the first time. You don't become great by avoiding mistakes. You become great by embracing them as part of the journey. 2, perfectionism is a trap. Perfectionism convinces us that if we just work a little harder, if we just try a little more, we can avoid failure, avoid criticism, avoid disappointment. But the truth is, perfectionism doesn't protect us, it paralyzes us. It keeps us stuck in fear, afraid to put ourselves out there because we might not be good enough. It convinces us to stay quiet, to hold back, to wait for the right moment that never comes. And worst of all, it robs us of the joy of trying, of experimenting, of playing, of creating without fear of judgment. Think about children when they're learning to walk. They don't wait until they're ready. They don't overthink it. They don't criticize themselves when they fall. They just try. And when they fall, they laugh, they get back up, and they try again. That's how greatness is built. Not by waiting for perfection, but by being willing to fall and get back up. 3, your imperfections are what make you great. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs real people. It needs people who are willing to show up as they are messy, flawed, human. Because when you do that, you give others permission to do the same. Think about the people who inspire you the most. Is it the ones who pretend they have everything figured out? Or is it the ones